The Hidden Pact. What the Knights Templar swore to protect forever. What you are about to hear has been hidden for centuries. A truth sworn in silence, protected by blood, fire, and faith. The Knights Templar, an order born to defend pilgrims, became the guardians of something far greater than gold or sacred relics. They safeguarded a secret that could alter the fate of mankind. A pact sealed not only between men but between heaven and earth. A vow so powerful, it survived the official extinction of the order, papal decrees, and the fires of the Inquisition. A covenant that still echoes today, concealed in the shadows of cathedrals, in underground crypts, and within the coded words of manuscripts few dare to decipher. You think you know the story of the Templars? You believe they were merely warrior monks? Then prepare to question everything you've ever been told. Because what is about to be revealed goes far beyond faith and the sword. It is the origin of a hidden power, a pact the Knights Templar swore to protect forever. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine standing before a stone gate marked with the red cross. Beyond it lies a truth that even history could not destroy. This is the Hidden Pact, what the Knights Templar swore to protect forever. For centuries, the Order of the Knights Templar has been surrounded by mystery, reverence, and fear. Born from the Crusades and shaped by faith, they were not just warriors. They were monks who vowed to live and die for a purpose few could comprehend. Amid the dust of Jerusalem and the ruins of the Holy Land, a brotherhood arose that defied kings, intrigued popes, and left traces of power and wisdom that still echo today. But among their legends and heroic deeds lies something never fully told. A secret promise sealed in the shadows, known only to those who reached the highest level of initiation. These men, dressed in white mantles with crimson crosses, were far more than simple soldiers of faith. They became bankers, architects, and strategists who understood the true power of hidden knowledge. It is believed that among the Templars circulated a secret linking the origins of humanity to divine power, something so dangerous it could shake the foundation of the Church and challenge the authority of kings. This secret, protected at any cost, gave birth to the pact that would define the destiny of the Order, a covenant that transcended generations, connecting spirituality with mystery, the visible with the unseen. Over time, the name Templar came to mean more than a military brotherhood. It became a symbol of resistance and enlightenment. They explored forbidden lands, mapped secret routes, and within their castles hid not only material riches, but manuscripts, symbols, and objects of power. All this was part of the sacred oath that bound them. Many believed that the true Templar treasure was not gold, but spiritual truth, a knowledge they vowed to protect with their lives. While the world saw them as holy warriors, behind the monastery walls and stone fortresses, they performed silent rituals, studied ancient texts, and decoded symbols from lost civilizations. And here is where myth and reality intertwine. The moment when the Templars ceased to be mere soldiers of faith and became guardians of forbidden wisdom. It was in that transformation that the Hidden Pact was born, the vow to protect what must never fall into the wrong hands. But every pact comes with a price, and this one was costly. Hunted by kings, betrayed by the Church, and tortured into extinction, the Templars became martyrs of a secret they never revealed. Even under the pain of death, their silence remained unbroken. And perhaps that is why their mystery endures. Many say the pact still lives, upheld by silent heirs who walk among us, guarding the ancient legacy of the Knights. Thus, while official history closes the Templar chapter in the 14th century, the echo of their oath still lingers in Europe's cathedrals and underground halls. Something was left behind, something neither time nor fear could erase. The pact still lives, and the truth hidden within the lines of history is about to be revealed. The beginning of the pact traces back to a silent night in Jerusalem in the year 1119. Beneath the dim glow of torches, 9 knights knelt before a simple wooden cross inside the ruins of Solomon's temple. The air was thick with reverence, and the echo of ancient prayers vibrated against the cold stone walls. These men, led by Hugues de Payan, knew they were about to seal a vow that would alter the destiny of humankind. It was not merely a promise to protect pilgrims, it was a spiritual covenant that transcended the visible world. Legend says that deep within the temple's foundations, they found something that did not belong to that age. An artifact, a manuscript, or an ancient knowledge that linked man directly to the divine, and before that revelation, they swore to guard it forever. The Order of the Templars was born that night, but not as history tells it. The true purpose was sealed away, whispered only among the highest masters. While the world saw devout warrior monks, they knew they stood before a revelation that touched the very origins of creation. Some records suggest the pact involved the preservation of a spiritual bloodline tracing back to Christ himself. Others say it was a universal code capable of connecting man to a lost divine wisdom. Whatever it was, it became the heartbeat of the Templar mission and the source of their meteoric rise. As the order grew, so did its power and influence. Castles rose from deserts and mountains, trade routes flourished, and the Templar name became synonymous with discipline, secrecy, and fear. But behind every military triumph lay a silent purpose: to protect the pact. Every symbol, every ritual, every prayer within the order contained hidden messages, designed to preserve the secret. The outer world saw faith and courage. The inner circle saw a spiritual war fought against forces seeking to steal what had been discovered. Thus the pact spread like an unseen flame. Neither kings nor popes could uncover its full meaning. The vow made beneath Solomon's temple became the living soul of the Templars, and even today, those who dare to look too deeply into their history will find traces of that hidden pact, carved in crypts, painted in stained glass, and written between the lines of forgotten gospels. For what began as a promise of faith became the most mysterious mission of mankind. With the pact sealed, the Templars became something beyond a military order. They became the bearers of a knowledge that defied time itself. It is believed that the secret discovered beneath Solomon's temple granted them access to truths that united faith, science, and alchemy. They realized that true power did not rest in weapons, but in the mind and spirit. While the world waged visible wars, the Templars fought an invisible one. Knowledge against ignorance, light against darkness. They built schools, charted the stars, studied sacred geometry and numbers, turning ancient wisdom into spiritual and strategic strength. The pact demanded that such knowledge never be used for domination, but to protect humanity from itself. In a short span, the order became an unstoppable force. Their castles stretched across Europe and the East, forming a network of communication and refuge that could not be penetrated. Many believe these fortresses were built along energetic lines, connected by a secret map drawn from constellations. The Templar strongholds were not merely defensive. They were hidden temples designed to channel the energy of the cosmos through silent rituals of protection. The pact lived in every stone raised, every symbol carved, every prayer whispered before battle. The power of the Templars grew so immense that it began to unsettle both thrones and altars. Kings indebted to the order feared their economic and spiritual strength, while the Vatican watched with suspicion the independence and secrecy that cloaked every Grand Master. Rumors spread that the Templars practiced forbidden rites, worshipped ancient gods, and hid blasphemous relics. But what the world saw as heresy was, in truth, the fulfillment of their vow, to guard what could not be revealed, even at the cost of their own lives. As their influence expanded, so too did the shadow of conspiracy. The pact, once seen as sacred, became the very reason for the order's downfall. The secret was too great, the power too uncontrollable. Kings wanted to possess it. The Church wanted to destroy it. And the Templars knew that if the pact were ever broken, the consequences would be catastrophic. So, in silence, they began to prepare the greatest escape, hiding what they had sworn to protect forever. The collapse of trust between the Church and the Order was inevitable. The Templars' influence had grown so immense that it surpassed the reach of kingdoms themselves. They controlled trade routes, held vast wealth, and, most threatening of all, possessed spiritual knowledge no pope could command. King Philip IV of France, drowned in debt to the Order and fearful of their rising dominance, saw the perfect opportunity to destroy an enemy disguised as an ally. Thus began one of the coldest and most calculated persecutions in history, the extermination of the Knights Templar. But what the world did not know was that this too was part of the Pact's fulfillment. The sacred oath demanded the secret be preserved, even if the Order's body had to perish. On the dawn of Friday, October 13, 1307, the trap was sprung. In a single night, knights were arrested, tortured, and burned as heretics. Yet the flames that devoured their flesh could not consume the pact. Hidden testimonies speak of a plan conceived long before the betrayal. Documents, relics, and coded manuscripts were spirited away to unknown lands, guarded by knights who vanished into legend. Some fled to Scotland, others to Portugal, where they were reborn under new names, silent guardians of the vow. What appeared to be the end was in truth the rebirth of the secret, invisible, silent, immortal. Official records tell of the Order's destruction, but symbols whisper a different story. Templar markings began to appear in cathedrals, coats of arms, and later in secret societies, as if an unseen hand continued to shape humanity from the shadows. In every carved stone, in every precise geometric ratio, a hidden message lingered. The pact survived. The red cross that once waved above battlefields now hid within stained glass and hermetic rites. The Order may have been erased from history, but spiritually it never ceased to exist. What is most haunting is that even their enemies felt the weight of something they could not name. Soldiers tasked with desecrating Templar fortresses spoke of a strange presence, an energy that froze their courage as if they were defiling something sacred. And perhaps they were, for the pact was not merely between men, but between man and the divine. The Templars understood that the power they had touched could never be destroyed, only hidden, passed on, and protected. Thus the fires of the Inquisition did not consume the truth, they merely veiled it beneath centuries of silence. After the fall of the Order, the world believed the Templars had vanished, but the pact, the very essence of their existence, had merely changed form. Their public destruction was, in truth, the perfect disguise to ensure the secret's survival. While the Inquisition burned the last knights in public squares, others crossed seas in silence, changed their names, founded new brotherhoods, and carried forward the same flame ignited beneath Solomon's temple. In distant lands, the Order was reborn under new banners. Portugal became a sacred refuge. Under King Denis, the Templars were re-established as the Order of Christ, preserving their rituals, traditions, and the hidden knowledge of the pact. But the vow did not remain confined to Europe. There are mysterious accounts of Templars who crossed the Atlantic centuries before Columbus, guided by ancient maps and constellations only they could interpret. These tales, dismissed as heresy for generations, speak of encounters with lost civilizations and the carving of cryptic symbols into unknown lands. The pact demanded that the knowledge be scattered like divine seeds across humanity, never concentrated in one place, but divided and hidden, safeguarded through time. Through the centuries, the Templar legacy seeped into numerous philosophical and esoteric movements. Freemasonry, Rosicrucianism, and even modern mystical societies carry fragments of the original vow within their rites. The use of the cross, the study of sacred geometry, and the pursuit of inner illumination are direct echoes of Templar wisdom. These symbols are not mere decorations. They are encoded messages for those who can see beyond the veil. The pact lives within those patterns, in every compass and star, in every structure raised in harmony between man and the divine. What is most striking is that the Templar pact seems to possess a life of its own, as if it refuses to die. Wherever tyranny rises, it re-emerges. Wherever darkness spreads, it appears as a spark of enlightenment, inspiring humanity to seek a truth that transcends religion and politics alike. The promise made nearly a millennium ago still echoes, to protect the divine spark within humankind. And so, even if the names of the 9 knights who began it have faded from memory, the pact still breathes, hidden, eternal, unbroken. As centuries passed, the Hidden Pact began to reveal itself in mysterious ways, most notably through the sacred architecture that dominated medieval Europe. The grand Gothic cathedrals, built with almost supernatural precision, were far more than religious temples. They were books of stone written in symbolic language. Every stained glass window, every arch, every geometric proportion carried encrypted messages left by the heirs of Templar knowledge. Beneath the splendor of faith, a code was concealed, the spiritual map of the Pact. The architectural lines followed the same principles as the ancient structures of Jerusalem, mirroring the balance between heaven and earth. It was as if these cathedrals were portals, points of energy where the sacred and the human met. The Templars understood that divine power was not confined to altars or prayers, but also expressed through harmony, in the rhythm of light filtering through glass, in the geometry of sound, and in the silence of corridors designed to amplify the soul's resonance. Many believe the knowledge behind these constructions came from manuscripts the Order discovered beneath Solomon's temple. These texts described the universal laws of creation, the secrets of vibration, and the divine energy shaping all existence. The Pact, therefore, was not only a spiritual promise but also an architectural code, a way to preserve divine wisdom in plain sight, accessible only to those with awakened eyes. Templar symbols continued to appear discreetly: the flower of life, the six-pointed star, the rose and the cross. Each symbol represented a key to understanding the whole, fragments of a greater truth. Even the roots of the cathedral builders formed an invisible pattern across Europe, aligned with constellations and celestial cycles. Nothing was random. Everything served one purpose: to keep the vibration of the Pact alive, a silent symphony echoing through stone, bells, and faith itself. Over time, many of these secrets were distorted or appropriated by other orders. Yet the core, the sacred essence of the Pact, remained untouched. With each passing era, it resurfaced under new guises, in Renaissance art, in alchemical writings, in hermetic philosophies, always whispering the same truth: that the true temple of God is within the human being, and that sacred knowledge must lead to illumination, not domination. Thus, the Templar Pact became more than a historical legacy. It became a timeless frequency, still resonating in the hearts of those who seek the truth. In the centuries that followed, the Templar Pact ceased to be merely an echo of the Middle Ages and began to weave itself quietly into modern history. Its presence resurfaced in revolutions, in the halls of power, and within the founding of societies that shaped the destiny of mankind. Many believe the Pact survived not as a visible institution, but as a spiritual and intellectual network that transcended time. It was present in the birth of Freemasonry, in the hidden codes of Renaissance science, and in the visions of explorers who dared to sail beyond the known world. The Templar ideal, the balance between faith and reason, courage and wisdom, justice and truth, became the spark that inspired thinkers, architects, and leaders seeking to rebuild the lost harmony between man and the divine. Some scholars claim that the Age of Enlightenment itself carries the Templar spark, the belief that the light of knowledge is humanity's true salvation. Ancient Templar symbols were reinterpreted and woven into new contexts: the all-seeing eye, the compass and square, the cross within the circle. These emblems, now scattered across flags, seals, and monuments, are not mere decoration. They are subtle reminders of an oath sworn nearly 1,000 years ago. The Pact endures through symbols that still awaken the hearts of those who feel the call of mystery. Even the most powerful secret societies seem to carry fragments of the ancient vow. In their rituals, hierarchies, and philosophies echoes the same Templar principle: that true power lies in self-mastery and devotion to truth. The great revolutions and spiritual awakenings of the modern age can be seen as attempts to revive the Pact's purpose, to free humankind from the chains of ignorance and reconnect the human spirit to its divine core. The Templars understood that evil is not merely an external force, but an inner shadow that must be illuminated. That ancient wisdom has been inherited by all who dare to seek truth without fear. Today, traces of the Pact remain scattered across the world, in monuments, city plans, and sacred alignments hidden in plain sight. Few notice, but the Templar fingerprint lies embedded in our architecture, our systems of thought, and even in spiritual traditions that persist in secret. The Pact no longer needs to be spoken. It lives as a silent force, guiding those who still believe there is a higher purpose amid the chaos. And perhaps that is why, even in a world dominated by technology and disbelief, there are still men and women drawn by an ancient whisper: protect the sacred, preserve what is eternal. The Templar Pact, forged in the darkness beneath Solomon's temple and kept through blood, silence, and faith, became something far greater than its founders could ever foresee. It transcended empires, crusades, religions, and centuries. Today, the pact no longer belongs to a secret order, nor is it confined to a symbol carved in stone. It belongs to human consciousness, to all who still seek balance between power and wisdom, between reason and faith. The vow sworn by those 9 knights was never consumed by the fires of the Inquisition, nor silenced by kings who feared its power. It transformed into an invisible current, guiding those with eyes to see and courage to follow the call of truth. The Templars knew that the greatest conquest was not the battle fought on the field, but the one within. The true enemy was never empire or heresy, but fear and ignorance. The pact was, and remains, a reminder that the sacred is not confined to temples. It lives within every awakened soul. Every act of compassion, every pursuit of justice, every man and woman who refuses to betray what is right becomes an heir to that ancient vow. The pact still breathes through all who will not bow to darkness, even when the world demands silence. And perhaps that is the true immortality of the Templars. Their legacy was not made of castles, crosses, or hidden relics, but of ideas. Ideas that survived because they could not be burned, chained, or destroyed. The Hidden Pact is, in essence, a memory, the remembrance that the divine and the human coexist within us. That power is pure only when guided by truth, and that no matter how time tries to erase its traces, the promise made beneath Solomon's temple will keep echoing, across centuries, inspiring generations yet to come. Now the question remains, what did the Templars truly swear to protect? Was it a physical relic, a lost artifact, or the very knowledge that awakens the human spirit? Perhaps the true treasure lies not in crypts or manuscripts, but in the awakening of every mind that dares to seek to question, to understand. Because the pact was never just theirs, it is ours. If this journey through the shadows of history has awakened something within you, curiosity, wonder, or the desire to see beyond what is told, don't let that spark fade. Subscribe to the channel. Share this story with those who also feel that history hides truths the world chose to forget. Leave a comment below. What do you believe the Knights Templar swore to protect forever? Your answer may reveal more than you think. And remember, the search for truth is the greatest vow of all. May the spirit of the ancient knights continue to guide those brave enough to seek.